Hello, this is Hughes with Hughes' Rant 4. Like I said, I'm going to be putting 5 rants up on YouTube today. Hughes' Rant 4, I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to do this. Hughes' Rant 4 is about online games. Yep. So, at the beginning of the year, sometime around after Animation Gaming in Ohio was over, I started playing WoW again. Now, there are two very, very vast online games out there right now. The biggest two online games that have been out there for a few years, competing with each other, as it be, is World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XI. These two games are very different. I've had a lot of arguments with a lot of friends of mine over these two games. Now, I've played both of them to a substantial amount, enough to, you know, be good enough. So here's what I'm gonna give the pros and cons to both games. The pros and cons that I see in both games. Start with World of Warcraft. Now, World of Warcraft is an awesome game to an extent. World of Warcraft has a 70 level system, 80 level system. There's no challenge to it whatsoever after you've played Final Fantasy. If you've played Final Fantasy and you've played World of Warcraft, you know the World of Warcraft is a whole heck of a lot easier. The flying system in World of Warcraft is an excellent addition to an online game world. It allows you to travel over periods of time faster, or just not there. If you have to go across the world, you can go get a shower while you do it. World of Warcraft also allows add-ons that Final Fantasy and the people of Square Enix seem to not want, because they would never ever want you to make anything easier. Well, the only thing about World of Warcraft, one of the negatives about World of Warcraft is your character can only have one job. When I make a character in an online game, I want to play as many things as possible. I don't just want to play one job with that character. I'd have to make another character with the same name on a different server to make that exact character again as a different job. Or whatever you would call that class. There's only 7 classes, so pretty much everybody's the same stuff. And at this point, everybody's managed to play everything to 70. So everybody knows everything about everything. For those people who just started the game, getting up to the level isn't hard. I got level 20 in 2 days, working 16 hours and getting 8 hours of sleep. Well, they were 12, 16 hours. So basically, I slept and worked for a day and 1/3. So it took me 2/3 of the day to get to level 20 and get everything awesome, all this awesome gear, all my abilities, and all this other stuff. When I left the game, I was level 45. I left the game in April. I played it for 2 months. In June, I restarted playing Final Fantasy XI. Now, I played Final Fantasy XI for a long time. Final Fantasy XI, on the other hand, has this large problem. WoW, it's easy to get money in WoW, for the most part. If you really wanted to, you can go out, and there's not a whole bunch of people. There's not always 1 million people farming. There might be 1,000 people on your server, and there might be 10, 20 of them farming different places, getting money, farming, whatever. For those of you who don't know the lingo. Final Fantasy, there might be 1,200 people on, and 800 of them are farming. Bad. World of Warcraft, you can solo. It's another thing. I like being able to solo everything. But then again, playing with other people is the point of online games, so why would you need to solo? So that one's there as a pro and a con. Final Fantasy XI. Now, we're going to get into Final Fantasy XI. The pros and cons of Final Fantasy XI. There are 20 jobs in Final Fantasy XI. For those of you who think it's a con, I think it's a pro. You can play that job as your character, one single character. You can play that job as that character. I mean, how can you not? That's all 20 jobs, and there's 20 jobs, so everybody doesn't have all the jobs in 75. So there's only a handful of people whose got every job to 75. Maybe 10, 20 people on each server, maybe. But that's because getting money in Final Fantasy is like digging for gold. I mean, you look at the amount of money you could get in Final Fantasy. It takes me, I need 120k to buy a cape, 120,000 gil to buy a cape. It might take me 3 hours to get that, and there might be 10 other people doing it. And if you find something, you can't tell anyone about it because they'll all go and do it too. They'll tell somebody else. They might not go because they're your friends, and you don't really tell your friends stuff. Another thing about WoW, you can only have one guild. That's good because when people join your guild, they don't just leave. Because in Final Fantasy, you have as many link shows as you want, and everybody says, yeah, I'll take it, and then they take it, and they leave, and they never come back. Or they get on when nobody else is possibly ever going to be on. So there's never anybody on. But then again, I like having multiple link shows, because then you can have link shows with all your friends. Not all your friends don't have to be in your guild. World of Warcraft is, I'd say that World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XI are equal in some ways. For those people who don't want to waste their time spending hours and hours grinding through levels, I guess neither game is for you. That's basically all it really boils down to. I'll tell you one thing, it's more satisfying to reach 75 than it is to reach 70 or 80 when the expansion comes out in World of Warcraft. Because once you reach that level, you can max your character's stats, change them permanently for your other jobs. What can you do in WoW? Get better gear for that job. This has been Hughes with Hughes' Rant 4. World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XI. Oh, by the way, even if you thought that these things were part of A&G's thoughts, they're not. They're mine. Only mine. Don't blame anybody else but me. See ya.